interesting story, The Homeless Monkey. A heartwarming story about a happy monkey who travels the world looking for adventures. As the story moves along at a quick pace, the monkey learns about the balance between the good and bad in the world. And he makes up his mind to live without ever causing harm to others. So yes, I will ask Athav to take you through the story while Athav is also having breakfast to go to school this morning.
Once upon a time,
Loudly.
once upon a time, there lived a monkey who had no home of his own. They called him Springs, for he always walked with the abundance
With a bounce in his steps.
the bounce in his step.
Okay.
He had sold everything he owned, and with that money, he had started traveling the world. He has money in his hand.
Yeah, he's holding some monies in hand, right? Okay, what next?
He wanted to see the world's smallest and biggest wonders. I traveled from village to village, town to town,
Okay, what happens next?
and offered his services to the work in exchange for warm food and shelter. He was happy monkeys and he loved helping people one day. He passed through the village of Zema, where 20 animals lived. He saw an old beaver, so he walked towards him and said, "Hello, Mr. Beaver. If I was
Beaver. Hello, Mr. Beaver.
Hello, Mr. Beaver. If I was to do some garden work for you today, would you be so kind as to give something to eat?"
He's asking that if I do your work, will you give me something to eat? What happens? What Mr. Old Beaver said?
The old beaver agreed.
Loudly.
He asked, "Springs, do do some gardening and fix up the few things around the house." It was a long day of spring.
Long and tiring day for Springs, but enjoyed his day. Springs means what? The season where the trees shed their leaves. Okay, that season is called spring. It was a long and a tiring because those are also summers. Okay, what happens next?
When spring returned to the home house in the evening, the whole villagers had gathered there.
Gathered there. What is the meaning of gathered? Ikhatta hona. Everybody came. Okay. There was a
lot of food, but
put out on the large wooden table.
Everybody was celebrated as a thought of the cup of that small village.
Hmm. They had a
They had a great time that night. It was like a big party. There was dancing along, fruits, springs. Yelly enjoyed his evening. That flowing morning when spring was ready to leave the old village. Spring was done. Tears and
Spring was ready to leave. The old beaver approached Springs with tears in his eyes and said, "Thank you for joining us for dinner. Please come back whenever you have time. I have two boys around your age who I have not seen in 10 years. Spending time with you reminded me of my boys." So Mr. Beaver was very happy to have Spring here, and his name is also on a weather of spring. Okay.
Spring, did not know what to say, so he just hugged the beaver just like the world. His father said all his way with a promise to return one day. Spring had walking for some time. He was tired.
Then what happened?
He saw two
Highway robbers. Highway means the big roads are there, na? So robbers means the one who rob people. Thief. They're thief. They actually take everything, whatever you have. Okay. So he saw two highway robbers.
Came down to took his bag away.
When the robbers
looked his bag, in the bag they were only found rope and some tools and some bread. Then they threw his bags on the ground and ran away. Spritz picked his backpack and continued on his journey.
So they did not find anything in his bag to be stolen. So they ran away.
He started to think about all the good and bad in the world.
So what good experience? We were giving him good food, hugging him, taking care of him. And the bad experience, Athar? The robbers trying to rob him.
The road was long, winding,
and finally
came to a dark forest. The only way could continue his journey to walk through the forest.
So there was a dark forest ahead of him.
Dark means
dark, matlab gehra.
Spring walked for more than an hour, and
then he realized
he was lost in the dark.
He decided to
climb up a tree to relax and eat some of the bread villagers had given. Suddenly, Spring heard some voices shouting for
help.
He climbed down from the tree and ran in the direction of voices were coming from. Spring reached the place where the voices were coming.
So he reached the place where voices, oh my God, these looks the same robbers. Anyways, read. Spring reached the place.
The voice was coming from the
loudly. Athar.
He was the two
He
robbers. He saw the two robbers who had pushed him earlier that day were trapped inside the deep hole
in the ground. They were trapped now. Okay, now couldn't get out and were yelling for help. What is the meaning of yelling? No, yelling means screaming, shouting, asking. Okay.
You reached into the backpack and grabbed the two ropes.
Grabbed the rope that was inside.
He tied in
one end
of the rope and reached through the another.
Wait. He tied one end of the rope to the tree and threw the another end inside the hole. The robbers both quickly climbed up the rope to safety. The robbers were amazed that Springs had saved them. One robber asked, "Why did you help us? We pushed you and tried to rob you earlier." Spring replied, "There are good people and bad people in this world. The good people do good things, and bad people do bad things. I have decided to be the one of the good people." The two robbers were amazed by Spring's reply. Spring told the robbers, I have traveled far and wide, seen happiness as well as sorrow. I have met all kind of people, good, bad, old, and young. I have experienced all sorts of bad things, but I have always tried to do only good things. You wanna read? As spring was leaving,
As Spring was leaving, he gave the two robbers some bread with a
smile
smile
and
and
said,
said, I hope you walk
what I have said
what
today
you have said today
will
will
help you realize
realize that is always a way to live without crossing up to us.
So a big round of applause for Spring because he is so good that he is even helping those robbers who tried to rob him.
Yeah.
So clap for him, everybody. He said there are two type of people, good and bad, and he chose to be what type of people?
Good.
Good. Thank you, everybody, and this comes an end to the story. And hope you like the video. Subscribe the channel for more such content and more such video. Take care.
I will be